launch program. Spend part of your day with us, whether you're watching this live or you're in the future watching the recording. Thanks for being here. I'm going to share a bit about our program. This is a quick 30-minute information session. So if we don't get all your questions answered, there's lots of different ways you can reach out to us: email, phone. We have some other upcoming information sessions. You can chat one-on-one with our team, schedule an appointment, lots of things. So thanks so much for being here. My name is Ashley Lotzenheiser. I'm the Director of Pre-MBA Programs at Forté. I get to oversee the programming we do for candidates like yourself that are considering the MBA as a future step in your program. I work with two amazing colleagues, Melissa and Sarah, who also work on my team. And we're here to help make the MBA a reality for more candidates. And here at Forté, not only do we do work about getting more candidates into the MBA, but we're really all about fueling the future of business. We do programming for undergrads, early career, MBAs, professionals, as well as candidates like yourself seeking the MBA. We're big fans of the MBA here at Forté. We think it's a great investment in yourself. It is a wonderful way to change the trajectory of your career, change your earning potential, change your life. And you might be here, you might be considering the MBA for a lot of different reasons. The why of your MBA might be very different from the person sitting next to you. You could be thinking that you want to expand your network. You might be thinking that you want to make a pivot of some kind. Maybe that's a pivot into a new industry, a new function, or maybe you'd like to live and work in a new part of the world. Maybe you are also just looking to accelerate your career, maybe leapfrog your way into a higher position. Maybe you're looking for some business fundamentals. Maybe you found out through work that there's some gaps in your knowledge, and MBA is a great way to fill that. And certainly it is a great return on your investment. The starting salary for MBAs is typically very nice. This, I believe, is the average based on the top 50 programs in the United States. Among the top 10 programs, the average starting salary could be closer to 150 to 180,000. Signing bonuses sometimes are on average, 30K. So definitely it's a huge investment of your time and effort in the MBA, but typically the jobs pay for that level of knowledge and skill that you're gaining from an MBA. So MBALaunch is a great way to help you prepare your best application to business school. And it's super important to prepare a great application to business school, not only to get into your dream program to showcase your amazing skills, but typically your application to business school is also your application to scholarship. And so that ROI calculation is a lot easier if you're earning some sort of merit scholarship. So building your best application is amazing ROI as well. So we offer our flagship MBALaunch program, which is our best way to help you build your application to business school, in two different flavors that I'm going to talk about today: our live program as well as our hybrid program. The main difference between these programs is going to be the timeline on which you want to apply to business school. So that will determine which of these programs is going to be best for you. Regardless of what format of launch you choose, we have some goals that we want as you go through the launch program. We want you to feel confident in the story that you're telling about yourself, really building your best business school application, meaning an authentic application to business school. We are not here to just make little cookie cutter applicants. We're here to really highlight what's special and unique about you, not try to fit you into any sort of box, not make you a fit for business school, but find business schools that are going to be a good fit for you. We do that through this amazing community that we provide. You're going to meet other candidates like yourself going through this process that are here to cheer you on, as well as my team and the entire team at Forté here invested in your future, to ensure also that you're getting propelled forward into these goals. I sometimes say that joining the launch program is kind of like joining the gym or hiring a personal trainer. You definitely are going to be putting in the sweat, right? You're going to be doing the hard work, but we're going to give you the steps to get there, right? So just like you'd be training for a marathon, I'm here to tell you how much to run every day, but you're the one that's going to have to actually put foot to pavement and do the work here. So our goal is to keep you on track to meet your goals, to really, as I said, find that dream MBA program. So the MBALaunch program provides application prep. We are going to make sure you actually are prepared for all the different components of the application. These are delivered through webinars and workshops, written content, having peer groups. You are going to know everything there is to know about the different components, how they're evaluated by admissions committees, and how, again, you're going to put forth your best and authentic application for business school. The other piece is accountability, right? So a way for you to meet others that have similar goals to keep you on track. So again, this is the idea that you have a goal in mind. We're going to help you know what steps to get there, and make sure you're doing those steps in the right order and at the right time. That community piece is also really critical because we know this is going to be tough going, right? Any sort of application can be difficult. Sitting for the GMAT exam is difficult. The other piece is it's a great way to start building your network before you have even stepped foot on campus. So an amazing part about the MBA Launch program is that you're going to make connections that might be future peers, they might be future coworkers, they're going to be candidates across business schools throughout the world. And so you're going to have this built-in network in addition to your MBA network. Now, practically, the MBA Launch program also provides discounts on some of our partner services, which are admissions consulting and test prep. We like to think MBA Launch is a one-stop shop. It has everything that you need to prepare a great application, but we understand you might want some test prep, maybe you want some additional services, so we do offer discounts with the partners that we work with. And then as a nice incentive, about 40 of our partner schools do offer fee waivers to candidates that complete the launch program. Now, we work with over 60 full-time MBA partner programs in the US, Canada, UK, and Europe. And so not all of our partner schools offer a fee waiver, but it is a nice incentive, right? It's a good little carrot to reward yourself with at the end. We certainly hope you end up in a partner school, whether or not they've given you a fee waiver. We hope you end up at a partner school, but it's a nice incentive to think about. I did mention those partner discounts and services. We do work with a variety of partners, as I said, admissions prep as well as test prep. So if you're looking for additional resources, maybe any of these you've heard of, just know that they do offer discounts to you, our launchers. Now, I mentioned we offer MBA Launch in 2 flavors. Our hybrid program would be if you are thinking about a January application. And believe it or not, January is only about 6 weeks away. So not far from now. So if you are thinking about a January deadline, hybrid is going to be the program for you. The enrollment for hybrid closes today. So if you decide you want to do the hybrid program, today's your day. If you are thinking you want to apply later, so maybe you're thinking about submitting an application in fall of 2026, you can consider our live program, which is our 8-month prep program, and it starts in February. So the first question to ask yourself is, when do you want to submit an application? So if you're going to submit an application soon, you're going to submit an application in January, you're going to consider our hybrid program. It's 7 weeks of content. We'll catch you up with what you've missed. But again, the deadline for this program is today. You're going to do some workshops, letters of recommendation, essays, resumes. You're going to have the opportunity to connect with alumni, current students, admissions reps. We'll talk about financing your MBA, and then you're going to be hitting submit for those January application deadlines. Again, this is kind of a 7-week sprint. Many candidates who are doing the hybrid program have already sat for the GMAT, the GRE, or the executive assessment. Great. That's one less thing for you to check off before you submit those January deadlines. But as I said, that's a 7-week sprint to get you ready for those January application deadlines, which will be here before we know it. So if you're interested in this program, if you're submitting in January, you're going to want to enroll today because this program, as I mentioned, closes today. So, and I would say call it midnight tonight. So if you're like, oh, can I do it after work? Yes, great. Okay, so that is our hybrid program. If you're thinking about January, that is the program for you. It's 7 weeks, so we don't get super into depth, right? But we're going to kind of cover all the bases, right? Our live program is 8 months of content. So a lot more content, same themes. So we're still going to talk about kind of who you are, your amazing story, go into admissions insights, talk about the application components, and then things like how you connect with schools, how to finance your MBA, that amazing community, right? But we're going to do that over an 8-month period. So we're going to start in February, and you'll be ready to submit applications in round 1 of fall of 2026. So the live program would be you sitting in an MBA classroom August of 2027. Okay? The live program can be completed entirely virtually. It is synchronous content, meaning there's going to be content happening at the same time. So you'll be doing content virtually together. And then there is also some optional in-person programming with the live cohort. So we do offer the opportunity to attend some of our in-person admission symposium events that are hosted typically by one of our corporate or school partners. You'll have the opportunity to actually meet admissions reps in person, meet your peers in the program, have some in-person workshops. So that live cohort does have some optional in-person programming, but it can be completed entirely virtually. But as I said, there is synchronous programming, meaning typically there's a weekly webinar to attend. Most launchers will attend that webinar live rather than the recording. Though, of course, you can attend the recording if that works better for your schedule. But again, that's going to be that live program over the 8 months of program. For the live program, there is an application process. It is not a selective application process, but it is to ensure the program is the right fit for you because it is 8 months. It is community programming. It's synchronous programming. So we want to make sure that that fits with your prep goals. You can complete this program from anywhere in the world. Though most students live in the US, it is not by any means the majority, of students. We typically have students from about 30 different countries complete this program. As I said, you can complete it anywhere in the world because it is virtual programming. Also, you can be considering an MBA of any format. So full-time, part-time, executive, maybe you're unsure right now about what format's right for you. The live program can definitely help you figure that out. This is comprehensive. So if you're kind of early in the process, you're like, I know I want an MBA, but I don't even know where to start. This is the program for you. We're going to walk you through everything you need to know. There is not a requirement that you have a test prior to starting the program. However, by the time you complete the program, you will have completed one of the standardized exams. And as I said, this is just some averages. So if you don't feel like this represents you, don't worry. There is a place for you in the live program as well. I mentioned there's an application for the live program. So you do need to submit an application. It's a $35 application fee, though we got a discount right now. I think kind of in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I think Melissa will drop a link in the chat here. There is a discount for the application, especially if you apply in our next deadline, which is November 24th. So that is very shortly here, 4 days from now. November 24th is the next application deadline, and that would allow you to get a decision back pretty shortly here, kind of beginning in December. So you'd be able to plan to start our program in February. The application, I would say probably could take you an hour. It's not very long. The only thing you probably need to do is the essay. And it's either a video or written essay. You're going to tell us about what your goals are, why you want an MBA, why you're interested in the launch program, and how you identify with the mission of Forté. You'll also submit some demographic information in that application. So you'll tell us who you are, where you live, how to get a hold of you, your phone number, things like that. You'll provide some information about your education. So you'll tell us where you went to school, what you majored in, and what your GPA or what your grades look like. Not here to judge, but we need that information because we'd like to get an idea of the cohort. And so, for example, if we see a lot of people in the cohort that maybe struggled as undergrads, we can develop some content to help you how to mitigate that potential weakness in your application. You'll give us information about your employment. This program is designed for candidates that are fully employed. So this program is designed to be completed as you are a working professional. We're designed to work around your work schedule. This is not something to take over your life. This is going to be a few hours a week that you're going to be able to dedicate to again, kind of move you forward to your goal of getting an MBA. We're not going to contact your employer. Don't worry. We know you might not be telling work about your interest in an MBA, but you're going to submit some information about your employment, including a link to your resume. Both your resume as well as your essay are going to be stored, like a Google Drive or Box, something like that. You'll just be submitting the link to those rather than uploading that information. So pretty straightforward. As I said, this shouldn't take you more than an hour. While I have read thousands of applications because I worked in admissions for 10 years, I am not here to think that this is going to be an application that's like business school ready. This really is an application and an essay specifically about yourself. Okay. Great. I'm going to take some questions. So feel free to drop the questions in the Q&A. My amazing colleague, Melissa, has been dropping some links in the chat. So that application discount is in the chat. The link to the program is in the chat, complete with amazing emojis. So thank you, Melissa, for that. If you have questions about the hybrid program, the live program, or anything else, feel free to drop those in the Q&A. I'll take those as we go through. The other thing I'll mention is you're welcome to reach out with questions. So you're welcome to reach out to, this is my email. This is my amazing team. You're welcome to reach out directly with us questions if they come up here in the next couple of days as well. So I'll drop over, I'll kind of moon on over to the Q&A here as well. So thank you for those that have already submitted applications. There's a question from Anonymous. Do partner services also include GRE test prep or only GMAT test prep? Great question. We work with a couple of different firms that do test prep. All those firms offer prep for GMAT, GRE, and the executive assessment. So yes, that would be an option should you decide that that is the test that you're pursuing. We also have some content if you are unfamiliar with those exams, what you need to know about those exams, the timeline for studying, things like that as well. That's content that's included in the launch program too. Great question. Thank you. There is a question. I'm interested in the live option, but they work full-time. It is designed for candidates that work full-time. That is actually a requirement that you are fully employed while you do this program. Are there opportunities or flexibility to join the required meetings at other times? Any of the required content is recorded, so those weekly sessions are recorded. It is in your best interest to try to make those sessions because obviously when you attend the session live synchronously, it means you get to ask live Q&A, but of course you can watch the recording if you want to. The recordings are also there for you to go back if you have questions and you want to go back to that content. Absolutely something we encourage you to do. And then there's lots of ways to communicate with your peers asynchronously as well. So we have a very active Slack channel. You can always send us an email, things like that. But yes, the live program does require that you're fully employed. So that's actually, that is what it's designed for. The webinar timings do change week over week. I would say broadly speaking, either they're at, commonly they're at noon Eastern. Some of them are 7:30 p.m. Eastern. As I said, we have candidates complete this program from over 30 different countries. So there's not one specific time that's great for everybody. So that's also why they're recording. But absolutely, it is not required that you attend them live, but obviously there's some benefits from attending live. There is a question about GMAT prep. So wanting to submit for the fall, I'm going to assume that question means that you want to start in the fall and they need guidance on GMAT prep. So if you want to be in an MBA program this coming fall, so fall 2026, on average, how long does it take to prep for the GMAT? MBA.com is an amazing resource. They have a planner, a test prep planner in there that includes I think it's a 6-week study guide. I would recommend if you haven't already take a practice exam. There's 2 free practice exams on MBA.com, 2 free GMAT practice exams on MBA.com to get a baseline of where you are. With very dedicated, directed studying, you can absolutely be ready to take the test in 6 weeks. So you could absolutely take it by the end of the year if you wanted to. Depends a little obviously on where you are now and what your goal score is. But I would say broadly speaking, 6 weeks is kind of the minimum that they have for recommended test prep for the GMAT. Are the in-person opportunities for the live program centered in major cities? If so, which one? Yes. So there are, our big events are in major cities in the United States. So typically in the past, those have been, I'm trying to name all, LA, San Francisco, Chicago, New York, DC, Boston, Atlanta. And then some of the smaller cities, we also have alumni directed programming as well. Regardless, you will be matched with a peer group based on where you live. So even if you live on the other side of the world, even if the US is on the other side of the world for you, our peer groups are all over the globe. And so you will be matched with others that live in the same area as you. So like, for example, I think we probably had 5 peer groups of candidates who lived in India last year. So just know that even if you live outside of one of the places where we do in-person programming, your peer group will be matched on location. And so you'll be with others that hopefully you'll be able to meet in person. Good question. Only considering applying to an MBA program like LBS or NCAD, I'm going to guess you mean, broadly speaking, European or UK is that. Absolutely. We have about 15 schools that we work with in the UK and Europe. And so absolutely, we do specific content for candidates looking at programs outside of the United States. So programs in Europe and the UK. And then, of course, we have probably about I say maybe like 7 Canadian partners as well. So you absolutely do not have to be targeting a US MBA program, because of course we have great connections with schools outside of them. And probably about a dozen of those European partners also offer fee waivers too. So that fee waiver list is available on our website too. So definitely if you're looking at a European program, this is a great option here. And maybe you don't know where in the world you want to do an MBA. We can also help with that too. So if you're, as I said, if you're kind of new into this process, doing the live program is also a great way to kind of narrow down as well. Is joining the MBALaunch program a requirement to be selected as a Forté Fellow? No. So the Forté Fellows are named scholarships that schools select and fund. So schools get to select who receives those Forté Fellowships. The money comes from the schools. Money doesn't come from us. It is not a requirement that you've done the MBALaunch program to be considered for a Forté Fellowship. However, a demonstrated commitment to the mission of Forté is often a criteria that schools may use to select Forté Fellows. And so doing a program like MBALaunch is a great way to demonstrate that commitment to the Forté mission. So while it is not a requirement, I would say typically of launchers who end up at partner schools, usually about 60% of them are named as Forté Fellows. Many of them receive other great, amazing merit scholarships, but about 60% of them do receive a fellowship. So that is certainly correlation, not necessarily causation, but something to keep in mind is this is a great way. And I will say, broadly speaking, you're going to be submitting a stronger application. And as I said at the top, your application to admission is typically your application to scholarship. So anything you can do to get a better admission or better scholarship decision, obviously is going to be worth your time and effort. If you're accepted into the MBALaunch program, how quickly can you access discounted services for test prep and essay writing? So the hybrid program is a straight enrollment program. So that hybrid program, you get access to that resources immediately. The live program, the discounts, I think the test prep discounts are already available for the live program. And then, so in essence, immediately, but the live program, you apply. So there's just a delay while we review your application, whereas the hybrid is same day, right? So I mentioned the hybrid enrollment deadline is today. So you could get access to that today if you wanted to. Live program, you just have to wait till you receive your admission decision to get those discounts. Hopefully that clarified that question. It didn't say which program you were looking at, so answer is slightly different. There's a question about eligibility for the launch program. So as I mentioned, the program is open to candidates anywhere in the world, regardless of gender identity. We encourage candidates who obviously identify with the mission of Forté to participate in this program. Some of the content that we deliver might look at the admissions process through different lenses, but this program is open to anyone who feels like they identify with the mission of Forté. If they're looking for application test prep program, definitely encourage them to take a look at this program. I do want to mention one other upcoming event that might be of interest. Also apologize for my scratchy throat today. Hopefully that's not bothering anybody. We do have an event upcoming on December 5th, which is our virtual forum. This is an opportunity to meet with over 50 of our partner schools and guest schools that are going to be there. There'll be an alumni panel. We'll also do another launch information session there. So feel free to check this event out if you want to kind of kick the tires on some other Forté programming. So I wanted to make sure I drop this in here before I forget about that. We'd love to see you at that event in December. Very low stakes. So if you're, again, just kind of seeing what's out there, this is a good way to kind of just come observe some content. There'll be some school information sessions. So again, this is a wonderful event that I wanted to make a plug for. Thank you all so much for being here and asking such great questions. We really appreciate it. As information kind of percolates, as you start thinking about what might be next for you, I'll just remind you, if you're thinking about a January deadline, today is the day to act. Hybrid enrollment will close at the end of the day today. It might technically close tomorrow morning, but my colleague that closes it is early bird. So if you're enrolling, don't be thinking you can log in tomorrow at 6 a.m. and do it. You're going to want to do it today. So hybrid enrollment, if you're applying in January, you're going to want to submit that today. If you are thinking later, if you're early in this process, maybe you want to submit next fall, maybe even the fall after that. You want more in-depth application prep, you're going to do our live program. Application is open today. You're going to use the discount Turkey 25 to get some money off that application. The next deadline is November 24th to get that Turkey discount. Otherwise, the final deadline for that will be December 10th, and we'll start with you in February and be with you for 8 months. Wonderful. Melissa, thank you so much for dropping links in the chat. If you have any further questions, definitely reach out to me. Certainly happy to help. On behalf of the amazing MBA Launch Dream Team, thank you all so much for coming to learn about the program today. We certainly hope to see you at a future event. And best of luck on your journey to an MBA program. We hope to be a part of that journey, and so we certainly hope to see you in our launch program. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a